You know what absolutely infuriates me? When WWE treats us like we're stupid. When they think we won't notice the patterns, the breadcrumbs, the obvious signs that something massive is about to explode right in front of our faces. And right now, at this very moment, there is a masked individual lurking in the shadows of WWE, sending cryptic warnings to the entire backstage roster. And somehow, the company is acting like this is just another day at the office. Are you kidding me right now? This isn't just some random storyline they threw together last minute. This is calculated. This is deliberate. And if you've been paying attention, if you've been really watching what's been happening over the past few weeks, you'd know that this masked figure isn't just trying to get attention. No. This person is sending a message, a warning, a declaration of war against everyone who thinks they are safe in that locker room. And before we go any further, I need to know something from you. Drop a comment right now and tell me, who do you think is behind that mask? Because I've got theories, I've got evidence, and I've got receipts that are going to blow your mind. But first, I want to hear from you. Is it a returning legend? A disgruntled superstar seeking revenge? Or is it someone we've never seen before, ready to turn the entire WWE universe upside down? Let me paint you a picture of what's been happening, because if you've missed even one episode of Raw or SmackDown lately, you're missing pieces of a puzzle that's coming together faster than anyone expected. It started 3 weeks ago. Subtle at first, too subtle for the casual viewer. A brief flicker of footage during a backstage segment. Camera glitches that production tried to play off as technical difficulties. But we know better, don't we? We always know better. Because while WWE was hoping we'd brush it off, eagle-eyed fans caught it. Frame-by-frame analysis showed a figure in the shadows, watching. Always watching. Then came the warnings. And this is where things get absolutely chilling. Superstars started finding messages in their locker rooms. Not public call-outs on the microphone. Not social media posts for the world to see. Private messages, personal threats that shook some of the biggest names in the company to their core. And how do we know this? Because people talk. Backstage sources leak information. And when someone like Seth Rollins looks genuinely unsettled during an interview, when someone like Bianca Belair seems to be constantly looking over her shoulder, when veterans who've seen everything start acting paranoid, you know something real is going down. The first public warning came 2 weeks ago on SmackDown. The lights cut out during the main event segment. Total darkness for exactly 17 seconds. And when they came back on, there it was, projected on the Titantron. A message written in what looked like distorted digital text: your time is borrowed. Your legacy is a lie. I am the reckoning. The arena went silent. Dead silent. You could hear the confusion, the shock, the legitimate concern rippling through the crowd. And what did WWE do? They cut a commercial break so fast it gave us whiplash. They didn't address it when they came back. They didn't explain it. They just moved on like it never happened. But here's the thing that absolutely proves this is bigger than anyone's admitting. The next night on Raw, it happened again. Different message. Same masked figure, this time caught on camera for a split second before vanishing into the backstage area. And this message was even more specific: the throne you sit on was never yours. I'm coming to collect what was stolen. Now, let me ask you something, and I really want you to think about this. Drop your answer in the comments. What throne is this person talking about? Is it the Universal Championship? The WWE Championship? Or is this about something deeper, something that goes beyond titles and belts? Is this about power in the company itself? Because here's where my investigation gets really interesting. I've been digging. I've been connecting dots. And the more I look into this, the more I realize this masked figure isn't just targeting random superstars. There's a pattern. Every person who's received a direct warning, every locker room that's been infiltrated, every segment that's been interrupted, they all have one thing in common. They are all connected to the main event scene. They are all connected to championship opportunities. They are all connected to the people who've been handpicked, pushed to the moon, and given opportunity after opportunity while others have been held back, overlooked, and forgotten. Does that sound like a coincidence to you? Because it sure as hell doesn't sound like one to me. Let's talk about who this could be, because the speculation is running wild, and some of these theories are absolutely mind-blowing. Theory number 1, the disgruntled star. There are several superstars currently on the roster who have every reason to feel bitter, angry, and ready to burn it all down. Think about the talent who've been criminally underutilized. The wrestlers who were promised the world and given nothing but false hope and squash matches. Someone who's been watching from catering while less talented performers get pushed to WrestleMania main events. Could this be their way of forcing WWE's hand? of demanding the respect and opportunities they've been denied? Here's what supports this theory. The messages aren't random acts of chaos. They are calculated. This person knows the schedule. They know where cameras are. They know how to move through the backstage area without being caught. That requires insider knowledge. That requires someone who's been there, who knows the system, who knows exactly how to exploit its weaknesses. Theory number 2, the returning legend. And this is where things get spicy. What if this isn't someone currently on the roster at all? What if this is someone from WWE's past, someone with an axe to grind, someone who left under controversial circumstances and has been waiting for the perfect moment to return and wreak absolute havoc? Think about it. WWE has burned bridges with legendary performers over the years. Superstars who built this company, who gave their blood, sweat, and tears to the business, only to be cast aside when they were no longer convenient to the corporate machine. What if one of them decided they weren't going to fade quietly into the night? What if they decided to come back and remind everyone why they were feared in the first place? The timeline would make sense. Contract situations have been shifting. Non-compete clauses have been expiring. And if you've been following wrestling news at all, you know that several big names have recently become free agents or are about to. What better way to make an impact than to infiltrate WWE's programming before you've even officially signed a contract? What better way to create buzz and force Vince McMahon, or should I say Triple H and Nick Khan, to offer you exactly what you want? Now, here's a quick question for you, and I'm genuinely curious about this one. Comment below, would you prefer if the masked figure was someone new, or would you want it to be a returning legend? Because both options have their appeal, and both could lead to absolutely incredible storylines. Theory number 3, and this is the one that keeps me up at night. What if it's multiple people? What if this masked figure isn't one person at all, but a group, a faction that's been organizing in secret, recruiting disgruntled talents, building an army that's ready to wage war against the WWE establishment? This would explain why the masked figure seems to be everywhere, how they can hit Raw one night and SmackDown the next, how they can send warnings to multiple superstars simultaneously. It's not one person working alone. It's a movement, an uprising of wrestlers who are done playing by WWE's rules. History supports this theory. Some of the most impactful moments in wrestling history have come from fact irons that emerged from nowhere to shake the foundation of the company. The NWO didn't announce themselves with press releases. The Shield didn't ask for permission. They appeared, they struck, and they changed everything. Could we be witnessing the formation of the next great wrestling faction? A group that's so fed up with the status quo that they are willing to tear down the entire system to rebuild it in their image? The evidence keeps stacking up. Last week's episode of Raw provided even more clues that WWE probably wishes we hadn't caught. During a backstage interview with Randy Orton, there was a brief moment, less than 2 seconds, where you can see a figure in black moving through the background. The camera angle shifts immediately, almost like the director caught it and tried to hide it, but it was too late. Screenshots were taken, videos were slowed down, and while the face was obscured by the mask, you can see something crucial: the person's build, their movement style, the way they carry themselves. Wrestling fans are detectives when they want to be, and the frame-by-frame analysis that's been happening on Reddit, Twitter, and YouTube comment sections has been insane. People are measuring height comparisons against door frames. They are analyzing walking patterns and comparing them to current roster members. They are examining the type of mask being worn and trying to connect it to previous wrestling personas. Here's what we know for certain about the physical characteristics. The masked figure stands approximately 6 feet tall, give or take an inch. They move with the confidence of someone who's been in wrestling rings before. This isn't some actor they hired to play a role. This is a trained performer who knows how to work backstage areas, how to avoid detection, and how to create maximum impact with minimum exposure. The mask itself is fascinating. It's not a Lucha Libre style mask. It's not a horror movie mask. It's something custom, something unique. Black material, possibly leather or high-quality synthetic, with metallic accents that catch the light in eerie ways. The design suggests this was made specifically for this character. Someone put thought into this. Someone invested time and money into creating an identity that would be instantly recognizable and deeply unsettling. But here's where it gets even more interesting. The warnings aren't just random threats. When you actually analyze the language being used, patterns emerge. Whoever is writing these messages has a deep understanding of WWE history. They reference specific events, specific betrayals, specific moments that casual fans might not even remember but that hardcore wrestling historians recognize immediately. One message referenced the throne built on broken promises. That's not random wordplay. That's a direct callback to multiple situations in WWE's past where talents were promised main event runs and then had those opportunities stripped away at the last minute. It's referencing the time when wrestlers were told they'd be the next big thing, only to be buried the moment Vince McMahon changed his mind. Another message mentioned the stolen crown. Now, what could that possibly mean? Is it about a championship that was never rightfully lost? Is it about someone who was screwed out of their moment? There are dozens of examples throughout WWE history where a superstar's championship reign was cut short for backstage political reasons rather than because of anything that happened in the ring. And this is what makes this whole situation so compelling. This isn't just physical intimidation. This is psychological warfare. This masked figure is getting inside people's heads. They are making the entire roster paranoid. They are creating an atmosphere of distrust and fear where everyone's looking over their shoulder, wondering if they are next, wondering what they did to deserve becoming a target. Let me throw another question at you. Comment your thoughts. Do you think WWE management is working with this masked figure, or are they genuinely trying to stop them? Because there's compelling evidence for both scenarios. On one hand, this could be Triple H's masterpiece. The man has proven he knows how to build long-term storylines. He understands the value of mystery and anticipation. He knows that wrestling fans love trying to solve puzzles and uncover secrets. What better way to create sustained interest than to drop breadcrumbs week after week, building toward a massive reveal at a major pay-per-view? On the other hand, if you listen to the tone of commentary when these interruptions happen, there's genuine confusion and concern. Michael Cole isn't selling this like a planned storyline. He's selling it like a legitimate security breach. Corey Graves sounds genuinely unsettled. The camera work feels less like planned production and more like documentary footage of something real happening that they are scrambling to cover. Backstage sources, and I'm talking about legitimate wrestling journalists with proven track records, have reported that there's been increased security at WWE events. There have been meetings about tightening access to backstage areas. Superstars have been advised to travel in groups. That doesn't sound like a work. That sounds like WWE is taking actual precautions against a legitimate threat. But then again, isn't that exactly what they'd want us to think? Isn't blurring the lines between reality and storyline the best way to create must-see television? The uncertainty itself becomes part of the attraction. Let's examine some of the specific targets, because this is where the plot thickens considerably. The first superstar to receive a direct, publicized warning was Cody Rhodes. That's significant. Cody is the face of WWE right now. He's the company's top babyface. He's the chosen one. So for the masked figure to target him first sends a clear message. This isn't about going after easy targets. This is about challenging the elite. This is about proving that nobody, not even the golden child, is safe. The warning left in Cody's locker room reportedly read, "The American dream died with your father. You're living a lie." That's personal. That's attacking not just Cody's position in the company but his entire legacy. That's questioning whether he deserves the opportunities he's been given or if he's simply riding on his family name. Whoever is behind this mask knows exactly how to twist the knife. The second major target was Rhea Ripley, the women's world champion, the most dominant female performer on the roster. Her warning was equally chilling: dominance is temporary. I'm inevitable. What makes this particularly interesting is that Rhea has been virtually untouchable. She's destroyed every challenger. She's made the women's division her personal kingdom. So for someone to not just challenge her but to claim they are inevitable suggests they have complete confidence in their ability to dethrone her. Then came the warnings to the Judgment Day as a collective. Messages appeared on their locker room door, spray-painted in what appeared to be silver metallic paint: "Your brotherhood is built on sand. I am the tide." That suggests this masked figure doesn't just want to challenge individuals. They want to dismantle entire power structures within WWE. Seth Rollins received a warning that hit different than the others. His message was simple but devastating: you were supposed to be the man. Instead, you became just another man. That's attacking Seth's entire career trajectory. He's been at the top of WWE for years, but has he lived up to his full potential? Has he become complacent? Has he allowed himself to become part of the machine he once rebelled against? These aren't generic threats. These are customized psychological attacks designed to exploit each person's deepest insecurities and doubts. Whoever is behind this mask has done their homework. They've studied their targets. They know where to strike to cause maximum damage. Here's another question for the comments: which current WWE superstar do you think would be the perfect choice to be behind the mask? Not who you think it actually is, but who would make the most sense from a storytelling perspective? Now let's talk about the implications of all this. Because regardless of who's behind the mask, the very existence of this storyline represents something significant for WWE's creative direction. For years, WWE has been criticized for abandoning long-term storytelling, for dropping angles without payoff, for insulting the intelligence of their audience with inconsistent character motivations and forgotten plot points. This masked figure storyline represents a return to patient, methodical storytelling. It's proving that modern wrestling audiences will engage with mysteries and slow-burn reveals if they are executed properly. The social media engagement has been off the charts. Every time the masked figure appears, Twitter explodes with speculation. YouTube videos analyzing every frame get hundreds of thousands of views within hours. Wrestling podcasts dedicate entire episodes to breaking down the clues. This is what happens when you give fans something to invest in, something to discuss, something that makes them feel like detectives piecing together a puzzle. But here's what concerns me, and I'm going to be real with you about this. WWE has a history of building up incredible mysteries and then delivering disappointing reveals. Remember when everyone thought Vince McMahon's illegitimate son would be someone huge, and it turned out to be Hornswoggle? Remember when the anonymous Raw general manager was teased 4 months and the payoff was essentially nothing? So while I'm excited about this storyline, while I'm invested in finding out who's behind the mask, there's a part of me that's terrified WWE is going to fumble this at the finish line. They have to stick the landing. They have to deliver a reveal that justifies all this build-up. Because if they don't, if the person behind the mask turns out to be someone nobody cares about or someone who doesn't make logical sense, the backlash is going to be nuclear. The timing of all this is fascinating too. We're heading toward Royal Rumble season, which traditionally begins the road to WrestleMania. The biggest show of the year is on the horizon. WWE is building multiple storylines toward that event. And this masked figure situation has the potential to intersect with everything. Imagine if the masked figure enters the Royal Rumble. Imagine the chaos. Imagine them eliminating multiple main event stars, making a statement that cannot be ignored. Or what if they cost someone their WrestleMania opportunity? What if they eliminate the favorite to win, destroying months of careful storytelling in a single moment? The possibilities are endless, and that's what makes this so compelling. We genuinely don't know where this is going. We don't know who's involved. We don't know what the endgame is. And in an era where spoilers leak constantly, where nothing stays secret, where fans can usually predict WWE's moves months in advance, having genuine mystery is refreshing. Let me throw out some bold predictions, and you tell me in the comments if you think I'm crazy or if I'm onto something. Prediction 1. The masked figure is someone who was released by WWE within the last 3 years and has been working in other promotions, building their skills, and waiting for the perfect moment to return with leverage. Their appearances aren't officially sanctioned yet, but WWE has been in secret negotiations, and this is all building toward a massive contract signing at a major pay-per-view where they'll be officially welcomed back as a top star. Prediction 2. The reveal happens at Royal Rumble, but it's not who we expect. The masked figure eliminates themselves as a red herring, and the real person behind the warnings is someone who's been on screen the entire time, playing us all for fools. Think along the lines of the higher power reveal, but done properly this time. Prediction 3, and this is the darkest timeline, the masked figure is revealed to be a completely new character, someone from NXT or even from outside WWE entirely. This causes massive backlash because fans feel cheated that it wasn't a returning star or an established name. WWE has to pivot quickly to salvage the storyline, potentially revealing that there's another mask, another layer to the mystery we haven't even considered yet. The wrestling business has always been about creating moments. Moments that fans remember forever. Moments that define eras. The Moe's formation, Stone Cold's heel turn, The Shield's debut, Centimeter Punk's pipe bomb. Moments that transcend individual matches and become part of wrestling mythology. This masked figure storyline has the potential to create one of those moments. The reveal, when it finally happens, could be something we're talking about for decades. It could launch someone into megastardom. It could reinvigorate a veteran's career. It could shift the entire power structure of WWE, but it could also flop. It could be remembered as a missed opportunity. It could become a cautionary tale about building expectations too high without having a proper payoff planned. Here's what I know for certain, WWE is all in on this. The level of production value, the consistency of the messaging, the company-wide involvement, this isn't something they are doing halfway. Someone high up in WWE, probably Triple H himself, believes in this storyline and is committing real resources to making it work. The question is whether they can maintain the momentum. Whether they can keep fans engaged through Royal Rumble, through Elimination Chamber, all the way to WrestleMania if that's where this is heading. Whether they can avoid the leaks and spoilers that have ruined so many WWE surprises in the past. One more question for you: if the masked figure's identity leaked tomorrow, would you want to know, or would you avoid spoilers to experience the reveal naturally? Drop your answer below because this says a lot about what kind of fan you are. The backstage atmosphere at WWE events has reportedly changed dramatically since this storyline began. Superstars are treating it seriously. There's genuine intrigue about who's involved. Even veterans who've seen every angle imaginable are invested in finding out the truth. Some wrestlers have reportedly been pulling ribs, pretending to be the masked figure to freak out their colleagues. Others have been genuinely paranoid, wondering if they are going to be the next target. The line between the storyline and reality has blurred to the point where even people inside the company aren't entirely sure what's real and what's performance anymore. That's the magic of professional wrestling when it's done right. When you can work the boys in the back as effectively as you're working the fans at home, you know you've got something special. As we head into the next few weeks, expect the intensity to increase. Expect more warnings, more sightings, more clues. WWE is building towards something big, and they know they can't afford to let this momentum die. My advice: pay attention to everything. Watch the background of backstage segments. Listen carefully to commentary for subtle hints. Follow social media for any breadcrumbs WWE might be dropping. This is a storyline that rewards attentive fans, and if you're not paying close attention, you're going to miss crucial details. The mysterious masked man isn't just sending warnings to WWE superstars. They are sending a warning to the entire industry. They are announcing that change is coming, that the old order is about to be disrupted, that nobody's position is secure, that everything we think we know about WWE's hierarchy is about to be challenged. And you know what? Wrestling is at its best when it feels dangerous, when it feels unpredictable, when it feels like anything could happen at any moment. This storyline is bringing back that edge, that sense of genuine anticipation that's been missing from WWE programming for too long. So buckle up, Wrestling Zone 1 family, because we are in for one hell of a ride. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so you don't miss a single update as this story unfolds. Hit that like button if you're as obsessed with this storyline as I am. And most importantly, drop your theories, your predictions, and your analysis in the comments below. Who is behind the mask? What do they want? And how will WWE's landscape change once their identity is finally revealed? The clock is ticking, the warnings have been sent, and the entire WWE universe is holding its breath, waiting for the moment when that mask finally comes off and everything changes forever. This is Wrestling Zone 1, and we'll be here covering every single development in this story as it unfolds. See you in the next one.